Good morning, Halle Kaufax. Welcome on VH Berries. I'm glad to have this opportunity to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having me, Victor. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for asking me to be on the show.
What breakfast do you have in the morning? Because you have so much energy, so maybe that all this energy comes from the cereals that you ate.
Yeah, you know what? I don't eat like the sweet cereals. I only eat the cereals that are like high in fiber and protein because my mom like really trained me to do that. So, maybe it's that. And I do eat cereal.
That's fantastic. And I would really much like to talk about a project that you are working on, which is a short film that you are writing and directing.
Yeah. It's called The Fake ID, and I wrote it. I'm like newly a writer, I would say, as every actor has been trying to do during quarantine times. And so it's called The Fake ID, and it's about me and my roommate, and I got my fake ID taken away in New York City, and how we got it back, and it's based on a true story, and it's really fun, and I'm really excited to, have this opportunity to work with some of my friends who are like willing to help me put this together and like believe in my project, and yeah, I'm super excited. We're shooting later in January.
And not only this short film is starring Ava, but also a leopard print faux four jacket.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Ava is wearing, yes, that was a signature jacket. So I'm actually, spoiler alert, Ava is me, in case you didn't realize. And so, yeah, that jacket, the faux fur jacket, was a staple in my closet for quite some time. It's definitely still is. But I'm glad you caught that detail when you read it. That's really fun.
And I also noticed that you have a special relationship with Four Loko, which is a drink.
Yeah. Have you ever had one of those?
Honestly, I just discovered it while I was reading it. I never heard of it before.
Yeah, so Four Loko, it's like literally the most horrible drink, and I think maybe it's an American thing. Like a lot of like college students and like high school students, like it's a drink that you can get at like a 7-Eleven or like a grocery store, so you don't have to like go to a liquor store to get it. And it's basically an energy drink mixed with beer. I'm not sure even what alcohol is in there, but it's literally the most horrible, disgusting thing. But it's like, it has like 13% alcohol, and it's like $4. So like, it's definitely like for a time in your life as a young American college or high school student, like you will drink a Four Loko. So, and it's horrible.
Yes, I saw that there is some alcohol in it, and I felt that you are trying to take a revenge on your past, because I'm sure, as you said, that you drank this drink, and now not anymore.
No, not anymore. I can't handle that anymore. I don't know how I used to drink that. I'm sure so many people feel the same way, because it's literally so horrible. Like, it's bad for you too. Like, it's like, basically, it's like, I don't know if you've heard the dangers of like Red Bull vodka, but it's basically worse than that. Like, cause mixing caffeine and alcohol, it's so bad. It's so bad. And there's so much sugar in there too. Yeah. So actually, Victor, you never need to have a Four Loko. Just don't do it. Just the fact that you don't know about it is a good thing.
I'm so happy that I get this piece of advice from you.
Yeah. I've saved you the energy that would give you, the horrible energy and horrible hangover that it would give you as well.
So you just gave us a spoiler, because you said that Ava was going to play it by you. And concerning Bruce, is it going to be Floris, your roommate?
No, so Floris is actually going to be playing Stefan. He is the friend that's with me. And he gets into the bar, and he has himself a good time in the bar. Bruce is going to be played by just one of my friends. His name is Colin Linville. And we were in the same acting group this semester. So it's super fun just getting a lot of people together a lot of my friends, you know, that's what you want to do. You want to work with your friends, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So really excited.
Floris is going to play the character who has a British idea.
Yeah, he is. And so Floris is actually from, the Holland. And he lives in Switzerland, so he's from Europe. And, so it would make sense that he had a UK ID, and I just thought, like, you know, it'd be funny for him to mess around with trying out a British accent. It'll be fun for him and funny in general.
And what's very fascinating, Halle Kaufax, is that, for example, your friend Floris just graduated from BFA in December of 2020, and you are going in your last semester, so you are going to graduate on the same time, you know?
Yeah, it's really crazy. Hopefully we'll get to have some sort of celebration in May. It's really exciting because at NYU, we're supposed to graduate at Yankee Stadium and like be all together. And then the Tisch graduation is at Radio City Music Hall, which, you know, that's like a huge, amazing performance venue that, you know, so many great artists have performed at. And so just be so incredible to be able to sit there with all of my classmates and friends. And yeah, I really hope that we get to do something. Maybe they'll push it back to like August or something, and we can actually have some sort of ceremony.
And there is also something that piqued my attention at the end of this short film. I'm sorry, I'm telling obviously all the stories, but he's giving like $80 to get her idea back. $80, is it too much?
Well, okay, so when you buy a fake ID, it's such a crazy process because you like send off your money through a Western Union, and then it's usually like $60 for like 2 IDs. So it's pretty typical. And so like what happens is like the bartender, like, or the bouncer, you know, he's trying to bamboozle me and, you know, charge me a lot of money for only 1 ID. But the thing is, like, I don't have to go through the whole thing of like going to a Western Union and sending my money off to somewhere like international and then waiting like 6 weeks for a new ID to come. So yeah, it's a pretty typical price, and it's horrible that is a thing. And it's kind of like a fake ID is like vital to a life in New York City as a young adult. Like, you can do nothing because, you know, we don't have like frat parties really. I mean, well, there's some, but like we don't really have like house parties and stuff like that. So you have to be able to get into the bars, and to do that, you have to take the risk and get a fake ID, and sometimes it gets taken away. I'm not the only person that it's happened to, so.
I understand. So you mean that in Manhattan, in New York City, the flats are so small, for example, that you can't have like 60 people in it?
Ugh, yeah. I mean, some people are very fortunate and they have big apartments that can house that amount of people, and it's great to be friends with those people. But you know, when you're the apartment throwing the parties, that's like, how do you even clean after that? How do you even keep your space clean? So yeah, going to college in New York is definitely a different experience because of that aspect of it. You know, people aren't living in big houses and gatherings are smaller. But that part I appreciate because I've been able to make like closer friends with people rather than just like passing people at parties every now and then.
You've just said it, Halle Kaufax. The person who hosts the party has the leverage, and you are hosting your own party. Fake ID is going to be recorded very soon. And for example, you need to rent the restaurant to do so. Yeah,
so I've been very fortunate with this situation because I had a friend that works at a restaurant, and she put me in contact with the general manager of the restaurant. And so I have been able to just be in communication directly with him, and he's been super flexible, and I just have to get like an insurance policy. And since it's like pretty much like a school project, because we're all NYU Tisch students, it appears as though it's a school project, and it started as a school project. It's just like now it's gotten bigger. And so like people are very excited and like willing to help when they hear like it's students. So really playing up that student card for a few more months to kind of get my foot in the door and kind of get these personal projects started before I graduate.
And Halle, what are your takes on all these administrative papers that can demotivate?
What do you mean by administrative papers?
For example, you just mentioned the insurance papers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was super perplexed at first on how to like tackle that, because I had never had to deal with like getting any type of insurance that was other than the health insurance that my parents have provided for me my entire life. So basically all I did was called my insurance agent, and I just inquired on how to get an insurance policy that covered me and a few of my friends to shoot in an area and like cover damages of up to $1 million. When the general manager said that I needed to cover up to $1 million, I was thinking I was going to have to spend like literally thousands and thousands of dollars on doing this. But it's not that expensive to kind of get something for like a few days to cover that cost. And so really, I'm fortunate to like, I'm very glad that I went through this process, because now I know that it's possible. I was super intimidated before to kind of like go through the process of seeing how this works and possibly getting a filming permit, and which I didn't actually, I don't have to do for this, because it's a private location, and I've been in direct contact with the general manager, and he's fine with it. But yeah, I'm just glad that now I have this experience, and I can carry it into other projects and hopefully do more work like this.
So you mean, Halle, that by taking concrete action, for example, by doing this short film, it teach you a lot of things. But I have to say that this is very new for you, TV and films, because before you were more into regional theaters and educational theater.
Yeah. Definitely, I have been a musical theater person for most of my life. TV and film has always been something that I've been interested in, but I never really like did any work in that department or did any training there. I've done a lot of musical theater training and a lot of musicals and worked professionally in musical theater. So yeah, I don't think I could write for musical theater because I don't know how to write music. So as soon as I decided I had these stories to tell, I was kind of like, oh wait, I need to go more towards TV and film. Also because Broadway is shut down right now and none of the summer stock theaters were having seasons. Some are having upcoming seasons. They're hopeful that this summer they can restart their seasons and kind of get back to normal. But TV and film has been still in production, and so I kind of decided that I needed to go where the industry was going, and I'm super glad that I did, because now I have experience in both areas and I can kind of do whatever I want.
I say that, Halle, for a good reason, because you prefer to be on screens and you also have skills on the screen of Open Table.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I have worked as a hostess. Yes, that is I love working as a hostess. It is very fun, especially when you enjoy everyone that you work with. Like, I just have like endless conversations with people, and I always feel like I meet people when I'm hosting, and not only my coworkers are fun to talk to, but like the patrons that come into the restaurant. So yes, that is on my resume. And I think that everyone needs to work in the restaurant industry, because you will look at your dining experiences so much differently because you know how it all works back there, and you'll just be more gracious to the staff of any restaurant that you go into.
And also there is a small chance that the restaurant in which you are going to make your short film is also using Open Table.
There is. I actually don't know. I could, because the friend that connected me with the restaurant, she is a host there, so I could ask her.
So there is a link between these two jobs as a hostess and as a director, because you need to manage the space that is free, that is occupied.
No, exactly. Like that's how I have it spinned on my resume, because like hosting at a restaurant, it's just the same amount of organization and scheduling as most other jobs. Like, and some people are good at hosting and some people are bad at hosting. Like, I've worked with really bad hostesses, and it's just like, they don't have skills to, it's people that don't have skills to like manage. And that's fine. Like, not everyone needs to be a manager, you know? So, but you know, I'm just not trying to sell myself short saying that I was a hostess, cause like, I was a good hostess. So.
Because Halle, a hostess, is like the first person that you see when you enter a restaurant. So it means that they hire you because you give a very great first impression.
I hope so. Thank you.
So concerning your theater career, you worked in a place called the Woodstock Playhouse, in which you performed not only one, not only two, not three, but four plays.
Yeah. That was probably the best summer of my life. Working in Woodstock was just absolutely so much fun. We did Mamma Mia, Newsies, Alice in Wonderland, and Hair. And it was just so special because it was my first professional theater experience, and I just had the most amazing castmates, and we all lived together up there in these little like cabin house things, and it was just an incredible summer, and I will never forget it.
What do you mean when you say that you were living all together? So you mean that it was upstairs, there were like rooms and beds and living room?
Yeah. So, well, actually, we didn't really have a living room. It was more like dorm rooms, but we all had our own bathrooms, and they were like separate houses. So like the theater was like a few miles away, and then our rehearsal space was on this like property, and then up the hill on the same property were our houses where we stayed. And that's pretty typical for a summer stock theater. Like, everyone lives kind of on the grounds of either the theater or the rehearsal space. And that's why people in summer stock get so close, because they're all living together. They're together all the time. They're performing together. It can get a little crazy. It's a lot of people with a lot of energy, just like me. And so it's a lot of fun, though. It definitely is.
And concerning this theater, Halle Kaufax, I saw that it was very far from New York, in the north.
Yeah. It's up in Woodstock, New York, which is like the hippie capital of America, which is, where the famous Woodstock Musical Festival happened 50 years ago. And it was actually the 50th anniversary of the Woodstock Music Festival the summer I was up there, which made it even more special. And we performed Hair that summer as well, which is a show about the hippies that would have been at the Woodstock Music Festival. So it was just like this encapsulation of the counterculture movement 50 years after the actual counterculture movement. And it was just a very special experience. We actually paraded around the city, it's not a city, around the little town. It's like literally one strip of restaurants. It's very small. And we paraded around and we sang the songs from Hair in our costumes to promote the show. And everyone in the town was so supportive and so excited, and they were grabbing flyers from us. And we sold out a lot of our performances, I believe, if I remember correctly. Or at least the audience size was very, very strong in most of our performances for Hair. I think like we just got the town excited and everyone really wanted to see it.
So you mean that this very special summer in 2019 was like a summer camp, like every day taking the same bus from the house to the theater?
Yeah, it was like a summer camp. We didn't have a bus. We had cars. Like I had my car there, which was actually super fun because I got to drive everyone. I got to pick the music. I literally have a playlist from that summer that like every time I put it on, it just reminds me of all the car rides with my friends from the site where we lived to the theater. And yeah, it really was like summer camp because we would have fire pits, we would have water gun fights. There were a lot of like natural streams nearby because the Catskills, that's where Woodstock is. There's all of that greenery and a lot of like natural waterfalls and such. So we would go swimming in those waterfalls and hiking. So it really was like summer camp. It was the perfect place to go to summer camp, but also get paid for it. So that was why it wasn't like summer camp, because I was getting paid to be there.
This is so fun. And did you get the opportunity to receive your family so they can see your play?
Yeah, my family came up. They saw all shows. They saw all 4 shows. They came up a lot, and they saw Mamma Mia twice too. So they were very supportive, and my brother even came up, who lives in South Carolina. He made it up to see Mamma Mia, which was very exciting. And also a lot of my like family friends came up too, because they were already coming up to see the music festival that was, because they had a music festival that was supposed to commemorate the 50 years of the Woodstock Music Festival. So they had a music festival that year in 2019, and so my parents actually took a trip with some of our family friends, and they came to see my show. And then some of my mom's work colleagues literally came up. They're theater lovers, so they heard like I had my first gig, and they're really good friends with my mom. So they came up to see my show as well, which was so kind. And yeah, so a lot of people came to see me. It was great.
You know what? I understand it 100%. People are coming from all around the world to see Halle Kaufax. That's normal.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Since then, you decided to move on TV and television because you want to expand your skills capacity.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as an actor, it's great to have experience on both sides. And I'm still going to be doing TV and film this semester. I feel like I've had years of musical theater training before this, and I still am taking voice lessons. I'm still dancing, or trying to, from my apartment. Hopefully this semester there'll be more opportunities to go to a studio. But I feel like expanding my horizons and my skills will greatly benefit me as an actor, because I can just, I can say I'm versatile now that I have training in all of it. So.
And when I learned that you also are a vocal teacher, I panicked. I literally panicked, because I said to myself, Halle has watched
panicked?
Exactly, because I said to myself, Halle has watched my previous episode. She noticed that I always say and I always repeat my sentence. That's terrible.
Oh, no. Well, I don't worry. I'm not concerned with that at all, because I do that as well. But I literally teach 7-year-olds how to sing. So don't even worry. I'm not judging you at all. I could teach you. I could teach an 18-year, how old are you?
18.
Okay, yes, I could teach an 18-year-old how to sing, but how to speak, how to stop saying like and restarting your sentences. I'm still working on that too.
So Halle Kaufax, concerning this lesson that you are giving to kids that are 7 years old, how is it going? So is it remotely?
Yeah, I'm doing it over Zoom right now. And it's working out fine because, I mean, I take my voice lessons with my voice teacher over Zoom. Well, we do it over FaceTime, but same thing. And it is what it is, and you just have to find your own like karaoke tracks. Like rather than someone there playing piano for you while you sing, you just find your own karaoke tracks online. And in this day and age, there's so many tracks online. So what I do for my 7-year-olds is I find karaoke tracks for them and then send it to them rather than making them find it themselves. And the only thing I use the piano for is warm-ups because there's a lag. So it's just taken some getting used to, but that's the only thing we can do right now. And for these young singers, they really, they just need a little bit of help. And so I feel like right now in their journeys of singing, doing it over Zoom is totally fine. Eventually they should get some in-person lessons, and I hope to be able to do that someday when this pandemic is over. But for now, this is working out just fine.
And who are these kids? Because you are literally building secretly a new generation of singers.
Yeah, so it's just a few kids in my neighborhood. Actually, so where I live in Virginia, they're Virginia residents. They're not like New York kids. I started doing it over the summer when I was here in quarantine. And, yeah, they're pretty good. I am super excited to keep watching them grow and keep suggesting new music for them. And it's a lot of fun. It's super fulfilling too. Sometimes it's like, oh, I have to plan another lesson and such, but then once I'm doing it, I always forget about that. And I'm like, wait, this is so much fun. And they're so adorable and they're so like excited when they get it right. And it's really fascinating watching them learn this music too so quickly. And they're so motivated to do it as well.
Just imagine if their microphone are saturating, you can't clearly know if they are singing correctly.
Sometimes the mics are an issue. But I've learned that, if I turn off my mic on Zoom, then I can hear them more clearly. And then it's just like a lot of technicalities that you just discover over time. I feel like I'm a master at Zoom. Like I know all the tricks and all the tips. Like if you need some tips on how to do anything on Zoom, I've literally done it. So I can help you out.
Audacity, Premiere Pro, Open Table, and now Zoom. Nobody can stop Halle.
I've been telling people that. Thank you, though. I should put Zoom on there. Like Zoom, something with Zoom, advanced Zoom skills. Because not everyone has that, I feel like. I'm always like answering questions. Like in my Zoom classes, I'm like, oh, actually, if you want to do this, you could do this. So it is a skill.
I've went on your YouTube channel and I've saw that you started pilot series that is called Roommates.
Yeah, so that was a project for a class, and so my roommate and I actually have two roommates. So one is Floris, the fake ID is about me and him, and then I have another roommate, Isabel, and so she wasn't featured in that. But after we made that, we were like, wait, we could like make a lot of videos like from our home. And that's how, have you ever heard of the series Broad City?
I'm not sure.
No? Okay. Well, it's just like basically like a series. It's on Hulu now, but it started as a web series, and I've been watching that show, and it literally started on YouTube. And so if you make web series, sometimes they take off. And also just people like seeing that, you're motivated and you're motivated to make your own work. And so, yeah, I think we're going to continue doing that. And it was super fun. And I love watching that video back. And it literally did not take us that long at all because we were just being ourselves, like literally just being how we are when we're in our apartment together and dealing with life issues and roommate issues and fun times with our roommates. So yeah, we'll continue it.
That's amazing because, for example, in every episode, you can implement a new guests that are coming just once and they are making very amazing stuff.
Yeah, I definitely could do that. There's a lot of things I could do with it. We'll have to see. We'll have to see where it goes.
So now we know that, Halle, you have a very busy year that is coming.
I hope so. I really hope that I can complete all that I'm setting out to do. I don't think I'm setting my sights too big right now. I think that I can take this on and kind of roll with it. And I'm hoping to really finish everything that I'm getting started this year and get started with new things as well. So
thank you so much, Halle Kaufax, for your time and your energy. I really appreciated talking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was so nice talking with you, Victor.